Third Mundaka, second Kanda of Mundaka Upanishad, translated by Max Müller. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. He, the knower of the Self, knows that highest home of Brahman, in which all is contained, and shines brightly. The wise, who without desiring happiness worship that person, transcend this seed. They are not born again. He who forms desires in his mind is born again through his desires here and there. But to whom whose desires are fulfilled, and who is conscious of the true Self within himself, all desires vanish, even here on earth. That Self cannot be gained by the Veda, nor by understanding, nor by much learning. He whom the Self chooses, by him the Self can be gained. The Self chooses him, his body, as his own. Nor is that Self to be gained by one who is destitute of strength, or without earnestness, or without right meditation. But if a wise man strives after it by those means, by strength, earnestness, and right meditation, then his Self enters the home of Brahman. When they have reached him, the Self, the sages become satisfied through knowledge. They are conscious of their Self, their passions have passed away, and they are tranquil. The wise, having reached him who is omnipresent everywhere, devoted to the Self, enter into him wholly. Having well ascertained the object of the knowledge of the Vedanta, and having purified their nature by the yoga of renunciation, all anchorites, enjoying the highest immortality, become free at the time of the great end, death, in the worlds of Brahma. Their 15 parts enter into their elements, their devas, the senses, into their corresponding devas. Their deeds and their Self, with all his knowledge, become all one in the highest imperishable. As the flowing rivers disappear into the sea, losing their name and their form, thus a wise man, freed from name and form, goes to the Divine Person, who is greater than the great. He who knows that highest Brahman becomes even Brahman. In his race, no one is born ignorant of Brahman. He overcomes grief, he overcomes evil. Free from the fetters of the heart, he becomes immortal. And this is declared by the following Rig verse: Let a man tell this science of Brahman to those only who have performed all necessary acts, who are versed in the Vedas, and firmly established in the lower Brahman, who themselves offer as an oblation the one Rishi Agni, full of faith, and by whom the rite of carrying fire on the head has been performed according to the rule of the Atharvanas. The Rishi Angiras formerly told this true science. A man who has not performed the proper rites does not read it. Adoration to the highest Rishis. Adoration to the highest Rishis. End of Third Mundaka, Second Kanda. End of Mundaka Upanishad, translated by Max Müller. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat.